everybody, how you doing? How you feeling? So it is a wonderful, and every day is wonderful. It's wonderful because we're almost to the weekend. It's a wonderful Thursday morning. How are you all doing? How you feeling? Hope everything is going well. Let me get a little sip of water. I'm so glad to be in front of you on this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Family Morning Transformation with yours truly, DMP Speaks. If this is your first time, my name is David M. Pinkston, and I go by the name of DMP Speaks. I am an empowerment speaker. I'm a board certified Christian counselor and a family restoration specialist, family coach, however you want to call me. I do these sessions every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am here to help your family transform your relationship with each other, to draw closer to one another, get an understanding of one another. This is the reasons why I do this show and other things that concern your family, because I believe, and this is my personal quote, what I do this for. I believe every family, excuse me, my sinus is good. Oh, excuse me. Every family deserves transformation. There we go. I had to get it out. But I hope that you all are doing well today. The topic that we're going to talk about, something that we're going to just discuss for just a few moments, is admitting when you are wrong to your team. I'll say it again because I didn't get too much response there. Admit when you are wrong to your teen or young adult, or even to your adult child. And the reason why I picked this topic to talk about today, because, and please share this with someone. Please share this with someone, because I believe what I have for you today is going to really break you in a good way. It's going to break you from feeling a certain way of asking for forgiveness from your teen or young adult, or even your adult child. And the reason why I brought this up today, this morning, in this session, is because we have to learn that we have to be as open as we need to be, so that we can draw to our kids, or draw back to our kids, or really look at, revamp, or revise, or however you want to think about it, our relationship with our teen or young adult or our adult child, because we are losing them. We used to say, I've heard as I grew up, we're losing our children to the streets. And we are, and we still are. But we're losing our children not just to the streets, but we are losing them to the social media streets. We're losing them to dangerous territory streets, mental problems, emotional problems, right? We're losing a generation, because a part of that is we don't know how to say, I'm wrong. Son or daughter, I was wrong. Can you forgive me? Those few words are very hard for a lot of parents and guardians to say to their teen. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean it in that way. I'm not saying that you don't say it. I'm saying you might not say it enough, or you might not really mean it. See, teens are not dumb. They're a little immature, right? But they know when you are sincere, and they also know when you're not sincere. Because one of the biggest things that I feel that there's a disconnection is because we don't apologize, or just admit when we are wrong, when we know we are been found out to be wrong. One of the great things about being a leader even it's in your home, in your marriage, at your job, at your church, wherever that you are, and you're a leader, because a parent is a leader, right? Because they wear all types of titles. If we can admit when we are wrong, and we're teaching them to admit to certain things that they might have said or might have done, if we can admit that we are wrong about certain things, how are they going to learn when they get and work with other people, when they get around other people, when they go to college and university, when they're in school, when they're talking to the teacher, whoever? If they can't admit that they're wrong and they feel like they're always right, that is something that they found out at the home, at your home. You have to learn how to, I'm not saying everything that you said, of course, I mean, I would be silly to say that. Everything that you said, you got to apologize. I'm talking about the things that you know that you were wrong in. Because you're the parent, you don't feel obligated to apologize. I'll say it again, you don't feel obligated to apologize because you're the parent. That's wrong. I'm just going to tell you, that's wrong. That's the wrong theology. That's the wrong mindset to have. Because you know that you are wrong and you can admit that you are wrong to your child, that makes them step away from you. That brings a little bit of isolation. That brings like, oh man, here she go again, or here she go, or here he go again. They can never admit when they're wrong, but I'm talking about how the teen is talking in their head or to their friends. But when I tell them, Mom, Dad, you were wrong, they can't admit it. And imagine what that does to your teen. I was always told that my parent was right about everything. They can never admit they're wrong because they're going to have trouble admitting when they are wrong because you haven't stepped up to the plate to tell them, I'm sorry. Mom or Dad, your mom and dad was wrong. I was wrong about talking about your father. I was wrong about talking about your mother. I was wrong to accuse you. I had to find out, but I was wrong that I accused you of that. But no, we get into our self-righteous ways. We get in our own way, in our own way of our child's relationship with them, and we wonder and we contemplate, why are they not talking to me? Why they don't want to be around? Why do they seem to just very one-word answers? Because you can never admit when you're wrong. See, that's also an internal thing as a parent that we also have to work on. Because I used to be like that. Ooh, you're like, really? Yeah. I used to be like that. I could never admit when I was wrong to my son. It was a hard thing because I'm the parent. I know more than you. Yeah, that's true to a certain point. But your children, your team will teach you a lot. Because when you don't want to admit when you're wrong, not only does it separate you from your team, it separates your household. It brings more division and it brings more problems. Uphill battles that you didn't have to battle or battle alone. You could have worked something out with your child by just saying, I was wrong. Can you forgive me, son or daughter? Can you forgive me, adult child? Or the way I talked to you when you were younger, the way I treated you as a child or a teen. I'm sorry. I had no other choice to do what I was doing. It was just me. I know a lot of single mothers say it's just me, and it probably was. But it's also good to admit certain things that you did and you said it was just wrong. Why do we have such a hard time admitting when we're wrong? The reason why we do that because if we feel like it's taken away from our authority as a parent, right? It's taken away from our authenticity as a parent. But parenting, there's a lot of books and manuals on how to effectively parent, and I've seen it. I'm going to read them, and we're going to have these times that we talk about certain things that I have read. But in all actuality, sometimes maybe you didn't have your parents, or maybe you did have your parents and they didn't treat you well. And because you weren't treated well as a child, you didn't know how to talk to your child. But you can change that. How can you change that with the right help? First, you just got to admit and recognize, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't talk to them like that. I shouldn't have treated them with that situation like that. I was wrong. You got to admit when you're wrong. So let me say this to you as I close the session, and please share this with someone. I don't believe getting on here and faking the funk, because there are families out here, there are teens out here, there are adult children out here hurting with emotional distress and pain because you never stepped up to the plate, parent, and admitted you were wrong. Excuse me. You have never admitted certain things that you have done to your children or said to your children or made them feel a certain way. Excuse me. You have to admit when you are wrong for you and your child, your young adult, your adult child to go forth in your relationship, because you got to stop wasting time. It's wasting time when you can't admit when you're wrong. You can't get over that hurdle. You can't move that mountain. No matter how much you want to move that mountain, that blockade that's in your relationship with your child, you got to move that by just apologizing. You got to move that by just saying, I was wrong. Because time, as my father says all the time, my father says, time doesn't wait for nobody. He said, the Lord God keeps moving, and he does. And you don't want to waste time by not just apologizing. Does that make sense? It sounds absolutely crazy, right? Why do I apologize to my child? Sometimes it's worth it because they're worth it. They are worth it. I want to help you in that area and other areas in my program called the Family Transformation Program. I know in my heart of hearts, there are some families out there that need some help. There are some families out there that are struggling in this area. This is a parent. There's some guardians that are struggling in this area. There are some adult children that are still hurting because you won't admit when you were wrong. They're not talking to you. You're seeing your grandchild, but you and your son and you or your daughter don't have the greatest relationship because you can admit when you are wrong. And I'm going to be doing a webinar. I'm going to go a little bit deeper in those areas because we're going to break generational curses. And I'm not talking about that. We got to break this notion that we don't have to apologize to our teen or young adult or adult child when we are wrong, because we are wrong. You are already wrong for not admitting when you are wrong, but you're wrong for not admitting that at all, or feeling like you don't have to because you're in error. And you are holding up the process of growth for you and your child, and you don't have to keep living like that. So I want to help you in that area and other areas. I want you to sign up today for your discovery call with me, and let's help one another. Let me help you. Let me coach you through how to change some things in your relationship with your child, because I believe every family deserves transformation. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Catch me tonight. I've been having some things, but tonight you'll see me at 7:30 p.m. Tonight for inspiration, life coaching, content that's going to help you live a better life. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.